on the recording. All right, so we can sit comfortably, whatever that is for you. And letting the spine be long, relaxing the body. We'll elongate the breath and just start by bringing our attention to our breath and inside here as we get ready. So allowing the breath to be a little bit slower and longer. Inhale and exhale, letting the eyes be soft or closed, shoulders relaxed, belly relaxed, jaw, letting go of the tongue and the brow. You can let some sound out if it wants to come out on the exhale as well. Just as we breathe, we can bring one hand to our low belly and gently tap the hara or the dantian, just right below the navel. Stimulating that area a little bit. And then bringing our fingertips up to our heart area and doing a little tap around the thymus and the heart. Picking up the immune system. And then we'll bring our fingertips up to our head and do a little massage of our scalp and waking up that area. Stimulating all the meridians, all the channels run across our scalp. And maybe taking a little massage of our ears, we can just kind of gently pull and massage around our ears. I like to stick my fingers in my ears. Vagus nerve stimulated a little bit. And then we'll put our fingers in our ears and gently pull down and hold as we breathe. Taking some nice full long breaths here. And then bringing our arms out from our shoulders and just letting our wings flap. We're going to reach forward and pull our heart back and then draw our arms back and lift our heart. So moving the spine and the heart and the arms, right? Feeling your back get a little stretch and then feeling your shoulder blades come together. And then we'll come up and let our arms relax down by our side and bring our feet in front of us for a long-legged butterfly. Already there. You want a pillow underneath or a bolster underneath your legs so we can really let them relax. Come forward over our legs here. So starting to open the hips a little bit and get a little stretch in our sacrum. We can massage our feet if we like here as well. There's that, all these points on our feet, the liver point at the base of the big toe and second toe, right kind of in the middle there. You press on that liver point, you might feel it. And the spleen point in the middle, kind of the upper arch, middle under the ball of the foot there, spleen area. Stimulate that if we want. And there's the kidney area on the points on the inside ankle joint, right? Ankle bone, I mean. The one right below the ankle bone, right under it. There's one in between the bone and the Achilles heel, right about in the middle there. Another one in front of the one that's on the bottom, just a little bit forward of that. Massage around there. Continuing to let our breath be a little bit slower and lengthened. The breath is the back door to our mind. So when we relax and slow down our breath, we also relax and slow down our mind, which is always a good thing to do. Bring some calmness and stillness into the mind. So we'll go ahead and press ourselves up from there and, just lift the knees and move them around a little bit. Wiggle the legs. And then we'll come into caterpillar. So just the legs extended right straight out from our hips. Coming forward, bringing the pelvis forward first. Coming forward over the legs. Just starting wherever our body naturally goes, finding our edge, finding that place where we're not forcing it, just letting gravity have us. And then as we get a little farther into it, maybe we go a little farther into the stretch and we let our back, of course, we let our back round and we're comfortable hanging the head, letting that head hang. Nice stretch through the spine, decompress our vertebra. If you are able to reach your feet, and that's comfortable for you, to grab the sole, kind of the sole of your foot. Your fingers might come to the ball of your foot. That's an option. We could also gently kind of pull our feet towards us, right? Increase the stretch. It's one little exploration you could do. Pose, or just simply relax over the legs. Okay, so let's slowly walk ourselves up and just using your hands to guide your torso up. We'll bring our hands behind us, lean back, move the legs, whatever feels good to your legs, shake them out. It's nice to kind of lean back out of that forward fold for a moment. And then we'll bring ourselves to shoelace pose, crossing the left leg under and the right leg over. If that's not doable for you, you can start by sitting in a different position for the first part, because what we'll do is we'll take our strap here, or whatever you've got that you can use as a strap. Right hand is going to be up, left arm behind our back, and starting with pretty loose strap, because we're really kind of working into the shoulder joint here, just keeping our head lifted, right? Bring our right elbow up as much as it'll go to start with. Might keep your wrist in line with the hand, the arm, wrist, and hand in alignment, laying that against the back. Be the most comfortable. Just starting wherever you start and just breathing into it. And then as it gets, our arms get more used to it, our shoulders get more used to it, then we might wiggle our hands closer together or might not. Just finding. And of course, anytime you want to come out of the arm position here, it's too much to stay very long. Feel free to come out anytime. You don't have to stay here too long. Mindful of that wrist, left wrist. Getting into the small intestine and all the upper body meridians, but that small intestine channel that kind of runs up the underside, kind of more on the underside and the top part of the arm. It starts at the pinky and goes up the arm into the shoulder, kind of does a little zigzaggy thing across the shoulder blade. And if you've ever had frozen shoulder, it's largely related to the small intestine. Cause shoulder issues if there's some imbalance there. Small intestine separates the pure from the impure, right? It's responsible for the assimilation of the nourishment or the nutrients from our food and the absorption of water in our body. Also the separating out the pure and the impure thoughts as well. So if you want to come out, feel free to gently come out of that with the arms, or if you want to stay there longer, feel free to do so. And you might just let our body sort of relax forward over our legs when we're done with the arms. And if this doesn't work for you, you can come onto your back and do the reclining shoelace or a different hip stretch, right? And when we're in shoelace, we want to sort of keep our weight more in the sits bones, probably, so it's not too much into the knees. Feel the weight centering in our sits bones more. Making sure that top hip doesn't come forward. Hips are pretty even. Shoelace is a particularly nice stretch for the liver channel, the kidney channel, the gallbladder, and the bladder channel. All those channels that run through our legs, basically. Give them a nice stretch and compression. Any of these long held deeper hip stretches that we do, such as shoelace, really good for our keeping that sacral iliac channel nice and clear, keeping that keeping our sacrum healthy by keeping that channel clear, stretched out, and getting into the lateral hip. We're going to press ourselves up from there. And if you are on your back, make sure that you come out of it nice and slowly and bring yourself on to sitting. And what we'll do is we'll extend our left leg out in front. Keep the right foot on the ground and crossed over. I'll turn sideways so you can see better. And we'll take our right arm and press into that leg a bit, left arm to support us behind us. And this is called mongoose. So that sort of rolling off that right hip a little bit and coming into a twist. Just a little bit of a twist here. Take a couple breaths. And then coming back around to face forward, you can take that right foot back off of being crossed. Maybe give your legs a little shake, wriggle them around. And we'll cross our left leg over the right, holding your right leg under if that's possible. Otherwise, you could sit in a different position. I'm going to sit in half shoelace. You can sit cross-legged. Take your strap with your left hand up, right, and the right arm back. And starting with our spine tall, our head lifted, right? And then just making sure your wrist is comfortable, your right wrist especially. Maybe lift that left elbow a little bit as we breathe into this. It's pretty intense on the shoulders, so we start gentle and maybe increase it as we get used to it. I find that in this arms in this position, if you're not used to it, you can tend to pull yourself forward, right? We want to make sure that we don't pull ourselves forward, that we focus more on keeping upright and just finding how close together those hands want to go. No forcing, just letting them, feeling the resistance, feeling the stretch, feeling the rotation without forcing it. One side, of course, might be different than the other side. Shoulders are probably going to be a little different. So being aware of that. Of course, anytime you've had enough and you want to come out, you can just release your strap into the shoelace. You feel like you had enough, you want to release the strap, you can, or you can stay there longer. It might actually feel good to you. And just let our body fold forward over our legs a bit, or come onto the back into the reclining version, hugging our knees into our chest, or a different hip stretch altogether if you prefer. Hey, cat's hogging my mat. Trying to do this. There we go. Okay, you don't have to leave. So we'll start to slowly come up out of shoelace. If you're on your back, make sure you come up slowly. If you're sitting, walk your hands, walk yourself up, and then extend our right leg out. That left leg crossed over. And then just pressing into your leg with your left arm, right hand back. Come into a twist by rolling off of that one. Just pressing gently into your left leg with your arm. And then coming back around, face forward, uncrossing that left leg. Let's move our legs a little, maybe windshield wiper them or fake them out, whatever feels good to you. And let's bring our feet in and lean back on our hands and maybe lift and lower the hips a few times. Helps get the blood moving in the legs and the arms. Right. All right, and then we'll bring ourselves into around onto our belly. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Trying to accommodate my cat. So coming into infant to start with to help our back muscles kind of activate. Bring your arms by your side, looking forward, lifting up, reaching for your feet, kind of pull the shoulders back, right? Locust pose in yang yoga. And then we'll bring our elbows under our shoulders, relax our pelvis. Maybe we'll do a little rock side to side. Whatever our head and neck want to do, we might look up and get a kind of a counter pose for the forward fold and hanging our head, right? We could look up and get a little stretch the front of the neck, a little compression in the back of the neck, a little more stretch in the front of our body. That might feel good to do for a little bit, or you can just move your head, neck, do whatever they're comfortable doing, or rest your chin on your hands. And also lift our feet if we want to increase that compression in the lumbar stretch. So we'll just take a short break in half frog. You want to slide that left knee up toward the left shoulder and look to the left, resting our head. And you need to right arm alongside the body. That helps your shoulder. And you can always explore that position of your left leg. You might want to straighten the leg out or bring it higher up toward your shoulder, or just letting our hip relax here. A little opening. All right, then we'll slide our left leg back down, coming back into Sphinx. Or if you want to bring yourself into Seal by straightening the arms and maybe widening them a little bit apart, spreading the fingers out, pointing them out a little bit. And bring a pillow or a bolster under the pelvis for support. Or just put pillow or blanket or something under the arms for a more next level of Sphinx, but not quite Seal. Right, those options. And feel free to go in and out, any of the variations. Whatever feels right to the body today. Seal is quite strengthening for the shoulders, obviously, the arms. So it's Sphinx, but Seal's just adding another level to that. Or compression in the lumbar spine. And if the breath does start to become a little bit labored or resistant, that's the body telling us to take a little bit of a break, come out of the pose a little bit. So nourishing for the kidneys and the kidney meridian. That kidneys are so important in Chinese medicine. They're the center of our will and stamina. Right. I think they sit pretty close to the, what would be the third chakra, right? That solar plexus power center of our body, which the color happens to be for the solar plexus happens to be gold, one of my favorite colors. And the kidneys and the solar plexus, I'm sure, are intricately related. So if you are up in Seal, and you might want to start making your way slowly back down to Sphinx. So you start to come out gradually and slowly. And then we'll do a frog on the other side for a little bit. So sliding that right knee up and looking to the right. Again, you can explore that where the leg wants to be. Okay, and we'll slide that right leg back down and make our way up onto our hands and knees. Or another position, if this doesn't work for you, we just want to move our spine gently. So curling the tailbone under slowly, rounding, and then letting the back arch, lifting the tailbone slowly and gently. You might like to round the back and press the hips back a little bit toward the heels, and then lift up and come into an arch. So variation of cat cow. Then we'll bring our spine to neutral and circle the hips and kind of let our body just spiral around here. Let hips and spine and shoulders move, and maybe the head, that's comfortable. And the other direction. And then we'll sit back onto our heels in child's pose for just about a minute or so. So maybe the knees together, maybe the knees apart, feet together or feet apart, whatever feels good to you. Oh, so good for the hips and knees and sacrum. So we'll come out there and we're going to make our way into a downward facing dog for just a moment here. So lifting the hips. So you're working the heels down, kind of stretching the back of the legs. And then coming back down to the mat, we'll bring ourselves into dragons with our right foot forward. Now, actually, any foot that wants to come forward first. It doesn't have to be your right foot, whatever leg wants to start. Or if you want to do this on your back, you might come onto the back with the strap around your foot like you're lunging on the ceiling, doing that version. And we might kind of rock our hips a little bit to start with, finding the lunge. One hand on either side. Foot, you're on the mat, legs and feet lined up with the hips, not with each other. Of course, the reclining version, you're pulling your knee down, kind of down towards the ground. Really stretching the left leg out on the ground. And then any of the variations of dragons that we want to do, you can come into high flying dragon, in and out of them. And high flying dragon puts a little more pressure on the front of those hip flexor muscles and groin, right on that side. More pressure on the knee as well. Right, low flying dragon inside the foot. You like to move around into the variations. Do winged dragon, kind of rolling out on that right foot and opening the knee a bit. Nice on that, opening that hip and getting a stretch on the inner thigh. Dragon. Or twisting dragon, where we hug our leg and into the twist, looking back, hip drop. Twisting dragon is such a super good stretch for the hip flexors, and also a nice twist for the low lumbar, the lower part of our back. Any of the variations that feels right for you. Of course, coming out of it if you need to, by just leaning back and straightening the front leg. Or if you're on your back, you can straighten your leg to the ceiling. Out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a little stretch. Maybe lean back into a runner stretch, or if you're on your back, just straighten your leg. A little stretch. And then we'll bring our leg under us. And again, you can do whatever leg you didn't do. I'm bringing my left foot forward here and kind of rocking maybe a little in and out of it. Or of course, if you're on your back, you'll be just switching to your other leg. Make sure feet are aligned with hips. Finding that lunge. Starting with our hand on either side of the foot. Then feel free to come into any of the variations, in and out of them as it feels right for you. Okay, so we can take a little stretch from on that side by maybe leaning into a runner stretch or on your back, straighten your leg to the ceiling. And we'll come on to our back. I think I'm going to try to migrate my cat a little. You're okay, Paladin. Yeah, oh, he's 15 pounds. Okay, hugging our knees to our chest. It's not a feather. Oh, relax your body. And we'll just bring our legs to the ceiling here, just straightening the legs and maybe moving the feet and letting the blood come back towards our heart. Hold on to them if you want with your hands or whatever you like to do. And then we'll straddle, just let the legs open and backs open here. opening the hip. Then bringing our legs back together, bending the knees. Bring your left foot on the ground, but keep hold of your right knee and pull it in. Stretch your left leg out. And then we'll open that left knee, let it open out to the side. Slide your foot in toward your hip, your butt. Just relax that knee open. Feel an interesting stretch there. And if you need bolsters, a pillow, you can have them on your left side there. And we'll start to guide our right leg across the body. You might scoot your hips a little bit if you need to, extending our right arm out from our shoulder, supporting. I've lost one of my pillows, so I'm using my hand, supporting your leg with something. I do have another pillow, but it's too far away. And letting that right shoulder be all the way on the ground, and the arm a little bit bent, a little bit up. Breathing into that twist. And also, if you like, you can straighten that right leg in the twist and always straighten it. And that just really emphasizes the stretch through our kind of outer lateral part of our leg and hip, right? Goes all the way the side and back of the hip. So that's an option, or you can keep the knee bent. But trying to let our leg be fully supported so that it can relax. The bones can relax. Okay, so we can start to come out by maybe grabbing our right leg with our right hand, bringing ourselves back around to our back, centering ourselves, and hugging the knees. If you've got bolstering, you can bring it over to the other side. Next time, I'm going to remember to bring an extra pillow. And then putting our left foot on the ground, holding on to our right foot, holding on to our left leg, slide that right leg down. And then let your knee open to the side. Slide your right foot in toward your hip, however far it will go. Relax. And we can guide our left leg across the body. You might adjust your hips a little bit and extend our left arm out from our shoulder. Letting that leg be supported. Left leg be supported in your twist. Left shoulder all the way down. Up a little bit. If you want to straighten that left leg, it really brings a stretch for that. Really brings a stretch into that leg and hip, kind of adding that dimension to the twist. Scooch myself back to that. Especially the supine version of the twist is so good for equalizing and equilibrating our nervous system, right? Bringing it back into balance, as well as our spine and the nervous system back into a nice balance here. I'm sure helping the blood flow through the spine as well. They increase and keep that blood flow going. Spinal flexibility is definitely very much key to the quality of our life, right? Quality of our life as well as longevity is dependent upon the health of our spine, flexibility of our spine. Well, we might start to bring ourselves slowly out of the twist, or you can stay there a little longer if you like. Eventually making our way onto our back and doing whatever our body wants to do. If we want to hug our knees in to our chest or any movement that wants to happen, and then just relaxing for a moment to integrate, making ourselves comfortable, maybe bolstering under the hips or the shoulders, and just allowing the body to relax and noticing how we feel as we breathe, feeling the energy, the chi circulating through our body unimpeded as we breathe, and our breath is a little bit more relaxed and deep. And maybe the mind is a little more still and allowing the breath to bathe us all the way through, giving thanks for our body, giving thanks for our breath. It's always giving thanks to Gaia, to the Mother, to Earth, for supporting us and always being there. So we are integral, we're integrally related, connected to her. Day and age of everything moving so quickly, Shavasanas don't last very long anymore. But feel free to continue lying there and relaxing, or at your own pace, getting up slowly. And thank you all for coming.